think I'm doing it too quick. Hi, my name is Robin B.
I'm Kay.
And we're coming from the chatter. And thank you so much. We have a special guest. You all know him as doing our theme song to the chatter every week, twice a week, whatever we do it. And thank you for being here. Finally, we meet the person in real life. And better known as Bruce Mack, aka B-Mack. So
what's happening?
We want to interview you and find out a little bit about where this music is coming from. So we're gonna ask you to tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, Robin and Kay, thank y'all both for having me on this show. It's fun time tuning in to listen to y'all conversation about all the various topics that are out here. It's always fun. I'm waiting to get to one that'll have me writing a song about it. So keep it going. Power to y'all.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, I'm a native New Yorker. Mm-hmm. Grew up here, born in Brooklyn, grew up in Harlem in the Bronx, and living in Staten Island now. I often tell people when I tell them that, please don't hold that against me, you know, for whatever reason.
We won't.
But you know, I grew up in Harlem is when I first started playing around with music, listening to my brother, who was a wonderful singer. He used to, you know, he always sounded like Eddie Kendricks, and we would, you know, he would babysit me, and I would, you know, sing along with commercials with him, particularly the Chef Boyardee commercial for some odd reason. And then I didn't know he was like really involved in music in high school because I just thought it was a social thing. I didn't know he was actually trying something. And he introduced me to his trumpet one day. And that trumpet, to this day, I've never heard him play it. He showed it to me. But,
oh, wow.
You know, but let me tell you, that show was everything because it sort of hypnotized me, you know, and that stayed with me forever. I was loving the glow of that horn. I would look at it and it said everything, and just looking at it, it just said music. It said everything. And I loved listening to horns at the time. So I started, my first instrument was a horn, played trombone and learned to read music during that time. And that was like third and fourth grade.
Right. That's great. So that inspired you to go into music from now on, and you continue that for the rest of your life because you also taught in schools and you teach kids now, right now. But the other thing too is, how would you describe your music? What type of music do you play? I mean, they've heard a little bit about, you know, what you've created for us, but you also have videos out and that type of thing too. B-Mack music, that's on YouTube and all over the internet. So yeah, how would you describe it?
I would describe, in a nutshell, I would call what I do and present to audiences like a punk version of R&B, kind of real hard edge punk R&B, if you can imagine that. So you're going to hear like really rock, a lot of rock, little edgy stuff, straight up funk, some R&B things that are kind of quirky. You know, I have a lot of favorite songwriters, you know, that I always dug. Joni Mitchell is one of the big ones. But in a nutshell, that's how I would describe it. But I'm bringing a lot of things to it because I'm pretty much an improvisational vocalist. I love bebop and stuff, listening to horns and scatting the horn lines. I don't always want to tell a story. I want to kind of feel it out with just tones and sounds. So I improvise in that way, and I bring that to the music and to the stuff that I do with B-Mack, which is me and a band that I have that's around the music that I write. And that's why I call it B-Mack. It's hard to be categorized because I like so many things. And at this point in my life, I'm not trying to really appeal to just a pop audience or anything. I'm just pretty much doing what I like to do. And hopefully some library or something will pick it up and, you know, and I can get some royalties from a library or something. Just saying.
Well, you're doing a lot of stuff now. You performed at Lincoln Center. You perform in Harlem all the time. You perform all over the city right now. So you know, you're pretty up there. You should be proud of what you're doing. That's for sure. It sounds
Definitely.
good. I like the music.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And thanks for coming out and making it and the support. But I still, you know, hey, if I can get it in a library and get behind one of those car commercials, it's an easy walk to the bank. But yeah, that's pretty much a lot of what I do. But you'll see me doing a lot of improvisational jazz, like with groups that I work with. Burnt Sugar, the Orchestra Chamber, which I'm one of the lead conductors in and lead vocalist as well. I've been with that band and contributing for quite a while. Out of all the projects, that's the one that is most notable that I've been working with since 1999, knowing a number of the people in it prior to that. You know, there's several people I've known in the band for like nearly 40 years at this point. Oh, wow. Then there's Nubian Messengers, which is an African folkloric group that I play drums with a lot of times, and I sing with as well. So I've written for them and put out music with them. And then there's 80 Pound Pug, which is like a hardcore, like improvisational thing. It's like jazz with horns, but it's hardcore metal. So that's kind of what, as you can tell, I kind of like the stuff with a little edginess to it. And I grew up listening to everything you can imagine, probably everything you guys, you know, can call out right now. Big fan of like the most poppiest stuff. I mean, stuff like, you know, the Archies, you know, if you can imagine that, in the cereal box, you know, and to pop music, I can go to that extent. And to the avant-garde, you know, it's probably like Cecil Taylor even, you know. But it's just been open. And I've been an open book with music for the most part. The stuff that I've done with the kids, you know, I bring that, you know, I've often come to the classroom literally 5 hours after I've been on stage, you know. So I kind of bring, you know, what I do from the stage to them. It's more of the energy, because a lot of the kids will be talented, you know, and I'll just kind of bring stuff out of them, sort of like more like a coach. You know, we'll set up a framework. What are we going to do? Right. Are we going to perform a cover song? So then we have to learn the cover song, or are we going to write a song? So I kind of treat, I kind of jumped into this, by the way, but I kind of treat my kids as, or the classrooms that I have as their own band. So we pick a song and I, you know, work on that song, and it's based on the character of the group. So that's how I function with that.
That's great. We also know that you're coming out with something new soon too.
Yes.
That coming out, yeah.
Got a new tune called Exist As You Are. And now that I thought about it, I was supposed to do a bunch of real minimal micro promotion over the weekend, but I had some other stuff to take care of and I couldn't get to it. So y'all are the actual first people to actually hear this and this crew to get it out. So this worked out like this. It's a tune called Exist As You Are, and it's not necessarily a real B-Mack kind of song. If you see like some of the videos of us on my YouTube page, it's not so much B-Mack, but it's some of the other stuff that I like to do. And it features my alter ego, which is Blackfoot Ayeshi. So I just kind of, with this project, I kind of deal with all the things that I personally have to deal with. So I try to get it out, you know, in words, like my awkwardness. Sometimes I'm like awkward. I can seem like the hippiest person and aloof, and then all of a sudden I can get like real tight and awkward. And I've dealt with that over the years. You know, I try to embrace what I am, and that's where the title comes from. Exist as you are, be as you look.
Right.
And kind of stems from Rumi, who I've liked to read, Persian great poet from the 13th century. You know, Mevlana, he's often called, but that was one of the things of his 7 advices was to, you know, exist as you are, be as you look. Yeah. And the name Ayeshi, I got that while I was hanging out in Morocco some years back. And I would, you know, chat with folks, mainly the guys outside, because it would be an hour, because it was a Muslim country, and it'd be an hour during hours where women weren't outside, you know. So I would chat with the guys, and they kind of nicknamed me Ayeshi. And I struggled with using it because I'd never had a middle name or nickname. You know, as a matter of fact, I had an issue because all of my sisters and my brother all have middle names. I'm the only one without. And don't know why that is. So I had to go to North Africa for somebody like, you know,
to name you.
To name me, give me that name.
And don't forget you write all your graphics too as well.
Well, I create a bunch of them, but I'm not gonna lie, it's a struggle, y'all. Anybody listening? Y'all want to jump in with some graphics? Please. It's just being independent is so tedious, you know, and you really have to use a calendar. And I'm one of them kids who used to see the kids in school with the little calendar book that you zip up and stuff. And I was determined not to get one. Believe me, I'm paying for it at this age now, you know, because you can go crazy trying to remember everything.
Right.
Yeah, so that Exist As You Are is coming out June 1st, but you can do pre-sales right now. You can do the pre-sales. There's a pre-sale as a matter of fact, I think I called it up. Yeah, you can do a pre-sale at distrokid.com, hyperfollow /Bruce Mack.
We'll put that on the hashtag so people will get that information.
Yeah.
Great.
So,
and you can visit me at my YouTube page, which is YouTube at B-Mack, E-MACK Mac there. And you can also see me at Bandcamp, where you can purchase all the stuff as well. But that'll be coming out in June 1st, and pre-sales will happen leading up to that. Hopefully I'll get some kind of write-up or something like that. But I appreciate you guys got me on. So this is Monday. This is how to start on Monday.
I know that people finally want to see who's behind that music because we introduced it in last year, right?
Yeah. Thank you. I'm glad y'all used it.
Thank you.
Getting some feedback.
You're welcome.
And it's really good having you on. Finally, people could see who this is behind the music.
Here it is. Here I am.
So we'll probably have you back on again.
I look forward to it.
Yeah. And also we're going to put the information on so you'll be able to get the information right in front of you as well.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us.
You're very welcome.
And we will be talking to you soon. Okay.
Look forward to it.
All right. Thank you.
Have a great Monday. All right. Bye-bye.